Welcome to A Moment with Vivacious, a freedom ride where we the people gather to build ourselves, our family, our community, and our nation. For the sound of America for progress has reached critical mass. Understanding that we must put aside our differences to focus on the greater good. This is a place of collaboration to rebuild and restore our nation. Welcome to A Moment with Vivacious. Hello, and welcome to Moment with Vivacious. Before we get started, please, if you haven't subscribed, press subscribe. Of course, press like and invite a friend. We're so happy to have you here tonight. We're going to be talking about wisdom and the things of wisdom and how to walk in wisdom. And we have sharing the wisdom woman herself, Mrs. Dale. Dale, what's your new last name? Can Dale come up, please? Hey, good evening.
Hey,
Dale Washington. Good evening. Good
that's
evening.
it. Hi, good evening.
I'm so glad to have you. I'm so glad to have you because I want us, even at the beginning of this, Moments with Vivacious Speaks. We're about bringing our conscience alive. I believe, it's my personal belief, that we just have our conscience dulled. We have to bring our conscience alive and clean our subconscious in order to move forward. And one thing we need for that is wisdom. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%.
Hi, Keisha. Hi. I can't see. I'm sorry, but everybody who's here, we welcome you. Invite somebody. But Dale, I want to talk about something that made me think about you, even to call you to say, would you be a guest tonight? Dale and I are both nurses, so we want to say none of what we give is legal or medical advice. Okay, so we were working at the mental health hospital with people that was underdeveloped, right there.
The prophetess Jaguar, right?
So Chris, you up. So I'm sorry, y'all. My daughter's my technical person, and she's online at this time also. So I want to apologize, but you were going around. I just watch it so delicately, and when they needed eye drops, just so gently putting it in as you talking to the people. And I was one that went around and look, I was gonna get it all done, So I did all of one thing first, then I come back and do it all. I did everybody eye drops 2 times a shift because we worked 12 hours, and that was it. And one day I just saw how you daintily went from patient to patient, doing everything that patient needed. And I thought that's gonna last forever. But then I asked you one day, why do you do that? That's gonna take you forever. Why? You said, oh, I can't make. I'm not gonna tell the whole story again, but you said, oh no, because it's been so many hours. I don't want their eyes to get dry, and that burned in my heart. And that was like the beginning of wisdom. Um, Not like the beginning of wisdom in nursing, but the beginning of a whole new way to look at my approach. So tell us about how you walked in wisdom at even such a young age, Dale.
Oh man.
Tell us, that's like telling
Well,
us what is wisdom. Go ahead,
right,
I'll ask you
right.
any question
And
one
to
time.
me, right. And I have to just thank God because he he began to show me wisdom, like you just said, at a very, very young age. I was married very young. Um, was ready for marriage. So I got married at a very, very young age. Soon after getting married at a young age, I gave my life to God. Um, and God introduced me to this older woman. I was maybe 24, and she had to be in her late 50s, early 60s. This woman was full of nothing but wisdom, nothing but wisdom. So early on, God placed wisdom in my face, in my path, early on. I had 4 children at the time I was raising. Didn't really know how to mother them. Was just learning to do things on my own. I was away from home, from away from my mother. I was in another city, another state. Trying to just do things on my own. But God placed this older woman in my life. And like I said, she was full of wisdom, and she just began to teach me wisdom early on, give me little nuggets here and there, and taught me how to be a mother, how to raise my children, how to do things with my children. She just began to teach me wisdom early on. So I would most definitely say that was the beginning of my wisdom walk, even though I didn't know it at the time.
So what is, so we'll know, because um, the Bible tells us that wisdom is the principal thing. So what is wisdom? Because it's not so
To
easy
me,
for people to go ahead.
all right, but to me, I feel like wisdom is a tool. Wisdom will help a person make right decisions in life. Wisdom is there to keep us on the right path, I believe, to help us to keep our integrity intact, to help us make right choices, right decisions in life, help us to go down the right path and not the wrong path, help us to choose the right people that we need in our life. Wisdom Without wisdom, I feel like you have nothing. Wisdom is everything. And the word of God talks so much about wisdom. And if I feel like if a person is struggling in their life with making decisions concerning whatever it is, job opportunities, whatever it is they're struggling with, I feel like you can ask God for wisdom. That's how you're going to be able to make these better decisions in your life. You're going to have to use wisdom.
Sometimes I sit back for myself. For myself, even as a younger woman, as I grew older, um, I was making so many mistakes,
Mm,
and it was almost like destroying my life. So
mm,
um, I stopped to ask, Lord, how do I stop doing that? And I think the first part of getting wisdom from me was listening. I'm working with this
absolutely.
person. I'm sorry, you want to say something?
No, no, no. I'm listening.
I'm working with this person, and I think she's a fine woman, and she has a leadership position. But it's because she don't have the wisdom to lead that she's making big mistakes. The team gets disgusted. But we want her to win. But no matter what you say, she can't hear. She don't listen. And
Wow.
I'm the big dog. I'm the leader. But the team is sinking.
Wow.
So I want in situations like that, when you don't, how do you begin to even know that you need to open up to wisdom?
I'm sorry, Valen, you went out a little bit. Can you ask me that question again? I apologize.
It's really this conversation. So tell us some things that you have about wisdom. How do a person know to walk in that wisdom? How do you become open to wisdom? How do you even know that you need it? Because you know, some things you don't know till you get there.
Listen, it's almost like a trial and error thing. When you're tired of falling your face and making so many mistakes in life, it's got to come a time where you just wake up and say, listen, it's something got to change. I got to do better. And sometimes you begin to walk in wisdom, and I feel like you don't even really know that you're walking in wisdom. You really don't know that it's wisdom, because you might not know the definition of wisdom. You never really heard anybody talk about wisdom, but I feel like it's a trial and error thing. You've made, like you said, we made so many mistakes, and you just get to a point where I'm tired of doing this. I got to do something different. I need a life. I need to make different decisions. I need to make different choices. And like you just said a second ago, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have wisdom on how to fall through with that knowledge or to move forward in that knowledge, I mean, the knowledge means absolutely nothing. You can have a bank account full of money. If you don't have any wisdom on what to do with that money, you're just going to waste that money away. You're going to spend that money foolishly every chance you get. You have to have wisdom. You have to have wisdom. You have got to allow wisdom to lead and guide you. I mean, listen, I have been studying wisdom here lately for the past few months. God has just really been dealing with me about wisdom, being a woman of wisdom. And like you just said, being a woman to kind of listen more. A lot of us, we want to talk a lot. We have so much to talk about, and we have so much that we want to get out there. We want people to hear us, but we need how to listen. That's using wisdom. Sometimes it's not for us to say a thing, not to share nothing, but listen. And when the time is right, when the time is, when the time is ready, then we can speak. But we have got to learn how to be women of wisdom, learn how to listen. Learn how to listen. I think that is like one of the most important things, Valerie. I just said that to myself today. Someone was trying to share some stuff with me, and I sometimes I think I got all the answers. Because I've gone through so much, and I feel like I got all the answers. But I said, hold on, listen, just listen, hush, just listen. And one of my spiritual moms always tell me, and she's been telling me this for years, and it finally clicked. She said, quiet down your spirit, just quiet down your spirit a little bit. And I used to always wonder, what does she mean, quiet down my spirit? But just quiet down your spirit and listen. Listen for direction, listen for instructions, listen to wisdom speak. Listen. So,
Okay.
hey, I love that word, listen. That's gonna be some of my studying right there.
Look, wisdom speaks, right? So now,
Yes.
you just said that. I was repeating that. I thought that was profound. Wisdom speaks, and wisdoms do
Wow.
speak. And one of my things is I listen to my day at the end of my day.
Wow.
But I thank God for calming my spirit. When we were talking, you said you have that personality. You just gonna be it. You just out there. They're gonna like it or they're not gonna like it. And I'm just gonna say what I have to say, and you're right. But you know what I'm learning? To be quiet. I never
Absolutely.
thought. I never thought. And on my days, I would say, just be quiet. There's a
Right.
personality. I don't dislike the lady. We're friendly, co-workers. But somebody who could turn just just irritate me. You know what I'm saying? And this time,
Mm-hmm.
I just get in the car and applaud. I just applaud God when I get in the car. Every time I shut up and don't say it.
Yes. Yes.
I have a
Yes.
greater victory because it's funny because you even more mad now because I didn't give it to you like I usually do, so we don't argue. But I found that as an older woman, I'm supposed to be giving wisdom.
That's
You know,
right.
and part
Absolutely.
of and part of wisdom is just be quiet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The power of
Absolutely.
shut up is amazing.
Wow. It is such a beautiful garment. You know,
Yes.
it is such a beautiful garment that we can wear, being quiet. It's just a beautiful garment. It just, I think it just shines and it speaks for itself. Sometimes being quiet speaks volumes. It's just a beautiful piece of garment, I believe. Just learning how to be quiet and just listen.
And there's some places, not only in the Bible but in life, where
Right.
the king called for a wise woman. The king will call, I want a wise woman. He didn't ask for a pretty woman.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't ask for a smart woman.
Mm,
He asked for a wise woman.
mm,
Because
mm,
wisdom wins wars. You're going to
mm.
be victorious. You're going to be
That's right.
prosperous as you walk in wisdom.
Mm.
Thank you, dear, for tuning in. But let's talk about um, even in bad circumstances or arguments or negative circumstances, when wisdom show up, how wisdom can turn things around. Can we talk about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, I can give you a little example of something I just went through recently with one of my daughters. And I'm really learning how to use them in this area in motherhood with with my daughters, especially because I'm a mother, and it's as a mother, you feel like you got all the wisdom, all the word, all the knowledge, you know, that your daughters need. You don't want them to make the same mistakes that you've made. You try to go ahead and give them these little wisdom nuggets to prevent a lot of things that you could be seeing, but they can't see. But as a mother, that I got to shut up, let them make these decisions on their own. And the one thing I really thank God, my husband that I'm married to now, thank God for him. He spoke to me one day and he was like, unless they ask for your advice, don't give it to them. He was like, don't even, he said, now wait for him to come and ask you before you just feel like you should just go ahead and give it to him. And I was like, that make a lot of sense. So I was like, I'm learning how to not, when they share something with me, I immediately want to just give them an answer or try to help them get out of it. But I'm learning to, no, that's not wisdom. Wisdom is just sitting back, listening, and letting them make their own decisions, their own choices, pray for them, and just believe and hope for the best, and just be quiet and just stand back and trust what I've placed in on the inside of them, as children growing up and even in adulthood, that it's taking root, and it's gonna do what it has to do. So I learn how to shut up. You don't have an opinion on that. Hush. So I just experienced that. So, and it keeps down arguments because when your children get a certain age, they grown, so they feel like they can talk to you a certain kind of way, and if you don't bring it to them the way they think you should bring it to them, or say what they think you should say, then it can bring strife, in a relationship. And that's the one thing I do not want. I don't want strife with me and my girls, me and my sons. I don't want that. So gonna stand back and listen, and be by listening and listening only. That's where I am right now.
Girl, now that has to be a very hard thing because a lot
Oh,
of
it
times,
is.
often our children, I'm grown, I'm doing this because I'm
Mm-hmm.
grown. And then the
That's
next
it.
thing you know, after they're grown and all of this happened because of your grownness, it causes
Uh,
problems for me. Because now
that's
I can't let you go down.
it.
I can't let you and my grandkids, go down because of it, because you grown.
Right.
So how do we get they're here years later though. But like years later, after, because they're still your children and you're still gonna um you're still gonna be there for them and go along with them no matter what. So with that being said, how, especially girls, most of the time the girlfriend is mad because the boy is coming home and listen to his mama wisdom. What you telling your mama our business for? So
Right.
they're mad. So why um it speaks to the power of a wise woman to me. That
Wow.
to get wisdom to our daughters is so hard, because once you get that power of wisdom and you walking and moving in wisdom, well, they're smart now. We make sure they're smart. We educate them. But once they move in wisdom, life changes.
That is so true.
So can we talk about the power of wisdom in a woman?
You know what? I often, and I'm studying this and I'm trying to get some understanding on it myself. Maybe you can help me. When it talks about wisdom, why is wisdom referred to as a she or her? Like, why? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wisdom give birth to so many new things. Let's talk about Deborah. Let's talk about Deborah. The king, everybody, they came to the prophet Deborah. They came to a wise woman. First of all, a wise woman in making her decisions, for those of us who believe, a wise woman is going to go to God. When she's faced with the adversaries in her life, she's going to go to God.
Yes.
So she's not moving in what she thinks. She's moving in the direction that God has ordered for her.
That's it.
So Deborah, the king came to Deborah and, should we go to this war or should we not go to this war? So Deborah the prophet went to God and she said, no, you go to war. You're going to win. Go to war. The king said, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? We're going to win? Well, this is why we're going to win, because you coming with us. You come. Deborah knew that she was not moving in her own word, that she was moving in the promise of God. So Deborah got on the horse and she went to war, and sure enough, they won, and they took over the country.
That's right.
And a wise woman seeks the power from within, and she gives birth to the victory. And I believe that's why wisdom is called a woman. She has to birth it. She goes through the pain of delivering the victory, that what she say, her actions have to follow her word.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And she sat on it. She didn't just open her mouth and say something. A woman of wisdom has watched.
Right.
And she sit back and she looked, and it may be for days, she just smiled. But the whole time, victory is stirring in her. The whole time, she's looking at a time to win.
Wow. I love it.
And that's why it's not so quick to respond. Don't be so quick to respond.
Absolutely.
Because you don't have the power it takes to win from a response.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But a good strategy, study it. Sometimes we have to go back and read it and look it up. And what is that made of? And how is that made? And where's that street? Where's the right? What do you call those puzzles that you have to find your way out? She has strategized it. She didn't just jump in and start going to all of the hooks and crannies and getting stuck and have to back up and go out again. She studied it first. She saved energy, she saved money, she saved time, and she produced victory.
Yes.
When we really want to talk about a woman of wisdom, we could go to Proverbs 31. For those of us who read the
Absolutely.
Proverbs 31, that's where we read wisdom is the principal thing. So that was Lamel. That Proverbs 31 we think is for women, right? But if we read the beginning of it, it was
Mm-hmm.
King Lamel's mother wrote that to him. So men should know Proverbs 31
Mm.
more than women because the king's mama wrote him.
Wow.
This is the kind of woman you want in your life.
Wow. Mm.
We label ourselves with it, but a man better have enough wisdom to see if this
Ooh.
is who we are.
Oh, oh, oh.
And that's why I have the question for you um, about a wise wife. Is a woman a wife
Mm.
before she gets married? What makes that the question really is what makes a woman a wife?
Wow. What makes
And I'm gonna tell you why I asked that question. I asked that question because Lamel's mama was teaching him how to
mm-hmm.
find a wife. So he
Mm-hmm.
had to find a wife that was already a wife. I mean that's what that meant to me. Tell me what you think of that.
Okay, you keep breaking in and out, but listen, I think I understand what you're saying. First of all, oh my God, this can go so many different ways, but I most definitely believe before you actually become a manifested wife, meaning that you're married to a man on paper, um in heaven. I feel like I feel like God will prepare you to be a wife. Just because just because a woman marries a man does not make her a wife. There is specific characteristics of a wife. And I've been married a couple of times and I was not always a wife. I was just married, but I was not a wife. I did not know how to honor my husband. I did not know how to treat my husband. I did not know how to speak to him, and with honor. I was young. Um, I, I I don't know. I thought marriage was just we got together. We don't did whatever we did, and we don't had these children, and we living together, and we working, we paying bills together. I thought that was marriage. I'm married. I'm a wife. I thought that was marriage, but that's not being a wife. So I told God, I said, God, I'm gonna master this thing called being a wife. I said, I'm gonna get this together. I am gonna learn how to be a wife. If you bless me with another good man, because God is so good and He's so faithful, He'll put these good men in our lives, and we'll marry them, but yet we don't want to be a wife to them. We want the other benefits, but we don't want to be a wife. So I told God, I'm mastering this thing. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna study wisdom. I'm gonna study on the characteristics of a wife. I want to be a woman, a wife of wisdom. That was my exact word. So I began to study, learn how to the book of Proverbs. Oh my God, it would tear you up. It would tear you to pieces about how to keep our mouths closed. Like it's better for a man to dwell on the rooftop than to dwell in a house with an old nagging wife, always nagging, complaining. Never, you always want, but never want to give. And so I had to just start learning I had to start checking myself. I had to really just to get myself together, talk to myself, and say, listen, these are not the characteristics of a wife, and first of all, not the characteristics of God. You know, a godly woman. So I feel like they go hand in hand. You first of all, you're not going to get wisdom if I don't feel like if you're not a godly person anyway, because it says if any man needs wisdom, you have to ask of God. So God is the only person that can give wisdom. Wisdom don't just show up at your doorstep. First of all, you have to ask for wisdom, and wisdom only comes from God. So first of all, I had to make sure I got my life, my relationship with God in order first. And then I began to seek God and ask God, okay, now God, teach me, show me how to be um a wise wife. How to it says a foolish wife, what she does, she tears her house down. But a wise woman builds her house up. You have to learn how to keep the peace in that home. You have to learn how to speak to this man. Choose your battles. Everything is not everything shouldn't be an argument. You don't have to argue and get your point across all the time. And that used to be me. I had to be heard. I had to get my point across. I don't care if it took me to 12 o'clock midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. I will wake up. I still feel like I got something to say. I got to get a point across. I had to get that point across. It was not the right time. It wasn't the right timing. That was not wisdom. That was just being foolish. That was not being wise. I want to be heard. I had to say what I had to say. And I wasn't going to sleep till this man heard what I had to say. Just being stupid, just tearing my house down, just tearing it down, just watching it crumble right before my face. So God was gracious enough to allow me to be married again. And I said, God, I hear you. I got it. I got it this time. I got it this time. I got it. I am going to be a woman, first of all, of wisdom, and second of all, a wife of wisdom. So I am still learning. I am still growing, but hey, I'm getting it in.
And I wanna say that when I think about when I was married, okay then. Well, that's what I'm gonna say, okay then. But when I think of relationships now, and I'm not saying every relationship, but I mean in the generations under us, it's like they don't think like us. That's most of them. They don't think
Right,
like us.
right,
And I think that, and we're gonna talk about that later in another show. I think that woman and man has the roles are like dissipating. In the destruction of families, the destruction of a society, and it's not like when I was young. It was fantasy for me, because you have to know love, but we're not talking about love right now. You have to know
right.
wisdom. You have to know wisdom, and I wasn't walking in wisdom. I didn't have examples um, of wisdom, um, that I have now. Like you, it came from a lot of different people, and my private time
Mm-hmm.
alone. And I am a Christian, so I'm saying my time with God. But wherever you get your wisdom, just get it. So I'm thinking, like it's love. I love this person. I want to be with them. I want to share it with them. I want to become one with them. It's um it's almost it's almost like, do you understand that you're becoming one with this person?
Right.
And then you're living in a place and with people you don't really know. When I hear young girls say, "Oh, he's just a sperm donor," well, girl, that's not saying much about you. That's not saying um,
Absolutely.
you didn't take time. You didn't have the wisdom to even take time to know this guy. Did he have any
Absolutely.
kids? And where were they? And what's his character? And that's
Wow.
that's a wisdom. You don't have a relationship until you know that person. And that's a
Wow.
wisdom. If I can, and I'm being prejudiced because boys need wisdom too. But like we say, a lot of times they'll sit and listen for the wisdom if they have somebody to pour it out to them. But I don't know what it is about that estrogen. You know, if I could pour it out,
Well,
you don't have a friend, if even a girlfriend, and you just giving and giving, and they're always at your house, and your parents is always taking care of
right.
them, and their parents may not have, so they may not have that to give. But what are they giving? I always taught my daughter, look, if your friend is not offering anything to you as a friend, then we're gonna dismiss that person.
That's
And
right.
how
Absolutely.
how do we give our children? I'm sorry. How do we give our children, dear? What we gonna do about that? How we gonna get? wisdom to flow through the next generations behind us.
Ooh, whoa. Listen. That's a hard one because they have all the answers. They have all the answers. You know, we have to just do the best we can because I'm telling you, like you say, we're nurses. We work in the nursing field. I see them. I see young people every day. I work in a mental health outpatient clinic. I see them every day, you know, and as a mother, when you see the young ones coming in, you have so much compassion. You want to say something to them a little bit, especially when they come in with their parents and the parents are trying to tell you a little bit about their child. And, you know, he disrespectful, she's disrespectful, and you kind of want to try to help the mom a little bit and speak a little wisdom to the child, honey. They looking at you like you crazy, like you ain't my mama, and don't you tell me nothing. And you know, they'll walk out. I've had so many of them walk out, they don't even want to hear no more. They get mad because the mama trying to share some things about them to me, and they'll walk out. So this generation, this is a really sad generation right now. This generation is I don't know. I just don't know. I'm grateful for my grandchildren, and I'm trying to do the best I can as a grandmother because you know I have these little ones coming up. My children, they're grown, and I still try to do what I can with them. But it's the grandchildren now that I'm more concerned about. But you know, you can only do so much because they don't live with you; they still live with their parents. And if the parents, you know, you've taught your children, and you're expecting and believing that they're going to teach their children what you taught them. But I don't know what happened along the way. I don't happen along the way. They they got a different um they got a different outlook of things, you know, and they want to share it with their children. So then it's like a battle. It's like a struggle. When they come visit grandmama, I'm teaching them this, and they go back to mama house, mama teaching them this, and it's like a. So I don't know. I don't know, Ms. Vivacious. Hey, this is something we have to most definitely continue to try to work on and do our best with generation. But I'm really scared for this generation. We see so many of them just losing their lives from not having wisdom in their life, not having wisdom in their household, doing things that if you had some wisdom, if you was taught some wisdom, if you had some wisdom in your household, you would not have done and would not have ended up in the place where you ended up, in jail, you know, in a grave. So these households have got to bring back wisdom. You know, if we're going to save this generation, it's going to have to, the wisdom has got to be in the households.
Well, we see a lot of what we see because we've worked and we've been correctional nurses. We in mental health now. We're both in mental health, so we're seeing that. But one thing I step beyond my role. Like we had a little boy who had gone through some things, and he had to be in with us because of the things that he did. And on his day, I always build a relationship. My relationship,
Right,
first of
absolutely.
all, when the children come in, is to give hope. I give them hope. What you gonna do with your
Absolutely.
life if they high teenagers? You
Absolutely.
own this. You own this life. What you gonna do, girl? What you gonna do, boy? And the
Absolutely.
little babies. What you
Absolutely.
gonna do when you grow up? So he was gonna be a policeman or a military guy, either one. I don't remember. Oh, he wanted to be an attorney. So I gave him a good lesson. He had to hear my mouth. I make him listen.
Okay.
But then he tell me on discharge, "Oh, I'm getting out
Mm,
today." I said, "Yeah, man. So what you gonna do when you get out?" "Oh, I'm going shopping." I said, "What?" "I'm going shopping." You know where I was, right? Tell me when that mama
uh,
come through the door. When that mama came through the door,
uh-huh.
I said, "Little Johnny," that's not the child's name, of course. "Little Johnny said he's going shopping today." I said, "That was you, Grandma. Because y'all grandmas, you know why I know? Because I'm a grandma." And the grandma just laughed. And so I was fussing because he was going shopping, right? So Mama, she had her head down a little bit. So her mama said, he going shopping. Where that shopping come from? Oh, uh, um, Donnie Yeek. I don't know. I'm making that name up, Donnie Yeek. Donnie Yeek
Uh-huh.
said he taking him shopping. I said, he is not going shopping. He is not going shopping. You can call Donnie Yeek and tell him he's not going shopping until his siblings is comfortable living with him in the
I
house.
love it.
Until his siblings are looking forward to him coming home. Until then, do you understand that,
Wow.
mama? And sometimes
Uh,
we
that's
have to just
right.
give it to those mamas like that,
We
And
do.
I know for
We
my
do.
daughter,
We
I have
do.
to wait because I'm gonna have to wait and I'm gonna have to go around the road. The thing with me and my daughter is my sister. She's a big part in helping me raise my daughter. I ain't know nothing about being a mama. Thank God for my sisters. But more than that, thank God for her grandmother who taught me a lot about being a mom and a grandmom. But my
Wow.
sister and I don't see eye to eye. My sister was one of those who believe in it's your thing. Do what you want to do. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm one
Mm-hmm.
of those people that believe that you're not the only person that's affected by your life. You can never,
That's right.
ever just do what
Absolutely.
you want to do
Yes.
because it affects someone else. So,
That's right.
so
Absolutely.
my daughter crawled in a comfortable place. So, and she have a lot of comfortable places to go. So, like, I will feed her green beans, and her grandmother says, she eat that. She don't eat no green beans. But she eat what I cook in here. I don't cook poison. So,
Okay, that's right.
So, so I have to go around the block with my daughter. But today it worked. And I want to tell moms, even if you have to go around a block to deliver that wisdom,
That's right.
even if you have to go around the block, one day it's going to come alive. My daughter, to this day, hardly makes a decision without coming to her mama for wisdom. But once she see my life work,
Wow.
when they see your life work, live that life before them. When they see that life work, I have a video I play. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this on Facebook because they don't know we're not supposed to let them see our phone. But this video is about a boy. He made this. He went to jail. He made all the bad mistakes. He wanted to be in the gang, and he said, "Look, all of them women that's all around you, all those girls that's all around you in your face. When you sitting there before the judge for all those stupid things you did, and you sitting before the judge,
Hmm.
and the judge is giving you 20 years." And you look
Mm-hmm.
back, it's your mama and your grandma crying. And some
Mm.
of them need to hear it.
That's right.
And another thing,
Absolutely.
I always give them love. We're not supposed to hug the children, but you know what? Some of those little 8 and 9 and 10-year-olds, they're gonna that same hug is
Absolutely.
gonna be showing them that somebody care. What care is, even when they're 20
Absolutely.
and 30. you know, even when they're 20 and 30. So I do believe that love heals all things, and wisdom is the
Absolutely.
principal thing. So in all
That's
healing and
right.
in all good things, wisdom comes. So, like even when they finish screaming and hollering, I notice when they're screaming and hollering, I don't do anything. And I let them know in the end. It was so disrespectful. I'm an old lady. You said all of those curse words. And I went caps to work. I said, so I know
Wow.
you see this gray hair under this cap. And for you to
Wow.
be so disrespectful, you gotta
Wow.
let them wear it. You have to let them
That's
wear
right.
their
You
disrespect.
do. Absolutely.
You have to let them
Absolutely.
wear that disrespect.
Absolutely.
And then let them see this is what it looks like. Like when people come in tripping, because I work on crisis, you work outpatient. But in crisis, they come and they look so on those drugs that just, I say, I wish we could videotape them. I wish it wasn't against the law
Wow.
to videotape them and show them how you look. That's going to be
Right.
part of the healing. Because
Yes.
in the community, you have a guy that terrorized the neighborhood. Just even may have committed murder, and that mom will come and say he didn't deserve to die because then people shot him while he was stealing their stuff and beating him up. And they
Mm.
pulled, they got to shoot him for it's something wrong. He's not right. Let me tell you something. If you would not have participated in him stealing from the store or selling drugs and bringing the money
Absolutely.
home, he wouldn't have got killed out there. We gotta give him that ugly. You know, when you come home at the end of the day and you sit down and you smiling, and then you go, well, for me, it's the Holy Spirit. Some people say they put things out there. However it is, I put my
That's
day
right.
before the Lord. And you see some ugly stuff
Absolutely.
you did,
Absolutely.
man, that wear you out. That wears you out. That ugly thing just that ugly thing just wears
Yes.
you out.
Yes.
If we put that ugly before them when they're young,
That's
and the
right.
little boy, he kept
Absolutely.
coming back. He kept coming back. He kept coming back. And one day we said we can't keep him. This is his. I mean, this is his baseline. So we couldn't keep him. But I had his grandmother stand there, and I had his mom and his little brothers. I said, stand right here, don't move, because he and I had that relationship. I said, Mama, tell him how you felt when he was turning over the racks in the store. Little brother,
Hmm.
tell him how you felt. Grandmother, tell him how you felt. Look, that was the word. He was so shameful and
Wow.
breaking down and crying. When we don't hire lawyers that's gonna hide their ugly, like I'm never gonna bust my friend out.
Right.
I didn't see nothing. I don't have nothing to say. But when I get them behind that closed door, I wear them out. Now
Right. Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
you gotta let people see they're ugly. That's the only way they're gonna break down and
Wow.
and to see their own heart. That's the only
Absolutely.
thing that's gonna, like when David, because I'm saying because you're a minister, when David killed that woman's husband because he had raped him when she was pregnant, and he was out honoring him. So he killed him so he wouldn't know he had his wife while he was going. Remember that? It wasn't until Nathan the prophet
Yes.
said, told
Uh,
him the story. You know this
show
man?
him.
That
That's
happened.
right.
This happened. And David said,
Absolutely.
who did that? Behead him. Nathan said,
Uh,
that was you.
you.
You did that.
Absolutely.
And when
Wow.
you see your ugly, we got to start showing this generation they're ugly.
Absolutely. 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 And stop covering up and with all this foolishness and yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. And when you said a minute ago about no, we're not talking about love, but you know what? Love, somehow love and wisdom still connects too as well. Because you can love
Absolutely.
somebody and you can cause them to begin to walk in wisdom because of the love shown towards them. You know what I'm saying? It will make them want to start making better decisions, better choices. So love and wisdom go hand in hand as well. I'm telling you, love love covers a multitude of sin. Love, love will help a person walk right on in that wisdom. Will cause them to walk right on in that wisdom. So I love it. That was right on time. No, we're not talking about
Hello.
love, but love and wisdom go hand in hand. So
I
I
want to
love
thank
it.
everybody that's listening tonight. I want to thank everybody that's on. I'm so sorry. My person who reads the comments for me, she's online. They have something hot on her side. So she's on her own live tonight, and I'm sorry I can't see the comments. But I want to thank each and every one of y'all for participating, everybody who invited somebody, everybody who commented. I pray that everybody's life is affected because
Yes.
wisdom. Just
Yes.
stop at the end of every day and go
Yes.
over not what somebody else did,
Yes.
but what you did.
What you
Even in raising my daughter, when she would come to me to
absolutely.
tell me what somebody else did, I say, first tell me what you did.
Absolutely.
Because if you can tell me what happened, you were there for the
That
incident. What did you do? And if that person
absolutely.
was
What did
wrong
you do?
and you didn't call for help and you didn't call for them
Wow.
to be stopped, you're wrong
Mm,
too. If you stood there and watched them be wrong, you're
mm,
wrong. So
wow.
tell me what you did first. So at the
Absolutely.
end of my day, I don't act, especially if I have just gotten into an argument with somebody. I asked the Lord, I promised y'all just a couple of nights ago, Lord, how does this end? And it was in my spirit
Yes.
to shut up. And last night I spoke very softly.
Mm,
And I still said what I had to say. But
absolutely.
I didn't argue back. I just
Absolutely.
shut up.
Mm, wow.
So
Wow.
wisdom is the strength for me. For me, wisdom is the strength to restrain myself and open my heart to
Yes.
direction from my
Yes.
greater power who is in me,
Yes. Yes.
and to move according to that direction.
Right.
I've lost a few battles, but I've never lost a war because of wisdom. And I'm sorry if
Absolutely.
everybody's breaking up the way I'm here breaking
Absolutely.
up. Stream y'all, fix that.
Yeah.
So Dale, do you have anything else you want to say?
No. Oh my God. This has just been really, really good. I just really appreciate you and thank you for the opportunity to be on here on tonight and share a little bit about what I've learned and I've grown to know about wisdom. I can say this final thing. I do believe wisdom is the master key. If you have wisdom, you have the master key to open so many different doors in your life, to go in so many different walks of life, different avenues, different places. If you have wisdom would take you would take you many places. It have you go through doors that you probably wouldn't be able to walk through if you didn't have wisdom. Wisdom is the master key. I really believe that. If you have wisdom, hey, the sky is the limit. Walk in
So,
wisdom and also
so
get an understanding.
yes, and in all that, get an understanding. And
Absolutely.
when you get all dressed up
Mm,
with wisdom, get dressed up at home. My daughter always say, "You gotta wear makeup every day," and I said, "No, I don't." But you know what I do? But I do for the reason is I gotta be ready. I can't. I don't. Sometimes you don't have time to get ready because I'm on the street sometimes with my camera and I'm
that
taking
beautiful
action.
face you got over there.
So I have to stay ready, you know. But so so I do, and you know what? In life, we gotta be ready. So you
Yes,
gotta
ma'am.
be all
Absolutely.
dressed up in your wisdom, even at home. You gotta
Mm,
be all dressed up in your wisdom.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Wisdom will wear you well every time.
Every time.
Yes, yes. I want to thank everybody. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please share. Bring us back next week. We're going to be talking about being yourself, knowing yourself, and getting to know yourself with Lady M and
Yes.
Mrs. Brown. I mean, Mrs. I'm sorry, I messed up.
Washington.
Mrs. Dale Washington. Mrs. Dale Washington. It was
Yes.
great, great, absolutely great. Hearing from you today with the wisdom that you gave us. We're going to go on forever and ever. And I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. And I'm sure we're going to see you again soon. And thank everyone for
Yes. Yes.
tuning in. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe and like, and I promise I'm going to get on here and I'm going to comment back on everybody's comment. Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
here. And I want to thank Nola Reeds for being our conductor every week. I'm learning, though. I'm learning. But thank you, Nola. See y'all next week. Thank you, Dale.
Mwah.